you got ringing in your ears, so why don't we stick some needles in the ears? Actually, we do not stick needles in the ear, right? I mean, that is one way of doing it, but there's different ways of doing it. And one of them is using our arms and legs. So we actually put the acupuncture needles on along his elbows, along his knees, and then also there's, we use it along the scalp. So it's something called scalp acupuncture. So there's some acupuncture points right up top of here that can be used to help with chirping, tinnitus, ringing in your ears. Now again, this is one thing that's very hard to treat. It's very black and white because we have our own acupuncture technique called QRA, quick relief acupuncture, and we know if the acupuncture is going to help your tinnitus or not. Because within 1 week, he actually started noticing a decrease in the volume in his tinnitus. And just after 2 weeks of acupuncture, his tinnitus, his ringing in his ears, has reduced by 30%. Obviously, we can't guarantee 100%, but even a 50% reduction in tinnitus is life-changing. Or even having days, like he's already had within 2 weeks, he's had 1 day where there was no tinnitus. Now remember, he's had this ringing for 1 year, 365 days, non-stop. To have 1 day with no ringing at all is a huge and monumentary for him. But I thought I'd just share this in a special case with tinnitus. It's very hard to treat. But again, at Achieve Integrative Health, we have a definitive way to know if we can help you reduce the tinnitus or not. And we usually know within 1 or 2 weeks. All right, guys?
I was hearing like a boom boom noise in my ears. I thought I was just hearing noisy neighbors, or that I was sensitive to bass, and I was trying to find out where it was coming from, and I felt like I was going crazy. And then I realized it was coming from inside my own head, and so I went online and tried to figure out what it was, and other people had it, but they hadn't had results with regular doctors or ENT. So I came here and sought his opinion. He said he'd never dealt with anything like this before, but that we could try it. And so it's just like a drumming in the ear, like a muscle spasm or vibration, and it makes it hard to watch TV or talk to people or sleep at night because it just sounds like boom, 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 and people think you're crazy because they don't understand what you're talking about. But I came here and did acupuncture for about 2 months and took the herbs 3 times a day, and now I'm okay. Yay.
The tip of today is going to be diabetes. And so, did you know that animal protein is highly correlated to diabetes? Most people don't know that. Most people are thinking, oh, simple carbohydrates, sugar, causes diabetes. Oh yeah, if you eat a lot of cake, you're going to get diabetes. But also, if you eat a lot of animal protein, you're going to get diabetes too. So from this book, the China study, they did some research. They were looking at Japanese Americans. There was another study where they measured the diets and diabetes in a population of Japanese American men in Washington State, here in the U.S., okay? These men were sons of Japanese immigrants to the U.S., and remarkably, they had more than 4 times the prevalence of diabetes than the average rate found in similar aged men who stayed in Japan. So these are Japanese Americans who stayed in Washington State compared to Japanese men that stayed in Japan. So what happened? These Japanese Americans, the ones who developed diabetes, also ate the most animal protein, animal fat, and dietary cholesterol, each of which is only found in animal-based foods. So the Japanese Americans here in the Washington State that ate tons of animal protein had higher rates of diabetes. These same dietary characteristics are resulted in excess weight. Right? So even though, like the Atkins diet, paleo diet, high, animal protein diets, they initially help you lose weight, but they actually damage your liver, they actually damage your kidney when you do it too often. And the end result is, this is why the Atkins diet is not sustained. You can't get sustained weight loss. You actually start gaining weight afterwards. Because you generate so much inflammation. So the total fat intake was also higher among the diabetics. Okay, these same these second generation Japanese Americans ate a meatier diet with less plant-based food than men born in Japan, and they had a 4 times the prevalence of diabetes. They were 4 times more likely to get diabetes. So the researchers wrote, apparently the eating habits of Japanese men living in the United States resemble more the American eating style than the Japanese. And the consequence is they were 4 times more likely to get diabetes from eating too much animal protein. And this is the biohacking tip, because most people correlate, again, diabetes with sugar, with carbohydrates, right? And so they start doing diets high in animal protein, and they wonder why their blood sugar, maybe they lose weight really fast, but then their blood sugar may drop, but then slowly it starts creeping back up again, and their weight starts to increase, and they're still eating animal protein, but everything's going backwards, right? And so this is the danger of eating too much animal protein and having this carnivore diet. So gotta be careful about this, right? So diet is powerful. Food is medicine. Hippocrates said that, right? And so if you are so confused, I know, the research is all conflicting and so forth. That's why we follow, at Achieve Integrative Health, we follow data that has been around for thousands of years. We don't follow the latest research, because the latest research hasn't been proven with time to really help benefit restore the human body, our organ functions. This is about a 3,000-year-old history of how to eat. It hasn't changed, guys. Okay, yes, our food has changed a little, but the eating, what we need, hasn't changed.
Contact us to schedule an initial exam today.